way. And you can also incorporate small variations of your own, which, who knows, could make all the difference on the day. And finally, the completed fly is put in a safe place for the varnish to dry. And there it is, a silver rat variant, ready for the water. A great big rolling flood is just what the fish and the fishermen have been waiting for. But nothing can happen till it's run its course.
That was yesterday when the river was a bit higher down here.
The lodge is full of good-humoured impatience and lots of fishing talk. Local experts are much in demand. The Englishman, the Frenchman and the Irishman sounds like the start of a joke, but it's actually a very serious conversation about fly patterns on the doorstep.
Well, I used the opportunity of the flood to tie up a few.
Yeah.
And this is what I came up with. My first choice would be that fly. It's called a silver rat. It's very simple fly, really.
Yes, yes,
as you can see, a silver body and a mixture of grey squirrel and badger hair.
That's right.
Yeah, is that a silver rat
that's
too?
That's it on the single hook, yeah. That one would be fine today.
Fine.
What have you got over here?
Well, here I have a blue badger.
Yeah, that's a blue badger.
That's a blue badger, yes. It isn't too big.
Oh no, that to me is the correct size today.
Is it?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Because the water is dropping quickly.
Dropping quickly.
Yeah, it's dropping off quickly.
And then
you need to go down in size.
Is it a good fly for today?
That's a good fly today with this kind of light. Yeah,
yes.
You know,
And
a mixture of sunshine and cloud.
Oh, yes.
That's a very, very effective fly.
I thought they were too big.
No, they're not. Today, where is it? That one on the dropper and that fly on the point.
On the point.
Yeah, on beat
yes.
4.
Beat 4.
Yeah.
Do you normally have the smaller dropper or the same size?
Well, it varies. Today, I think I'd have the two flies the same size.
Oh, will you?
Yes.
Is a BBO good on the dropper?
A bibio is a very good fly on a dropper. A bibio or a black
Or
pennel.
a black pennel?
Yeah, they're both excellent dropper flies here.
Oh, yes.
Even in quite small sizes.
Yes.
I'm going to go inside and get a few smaller flies than that,
Yeah, I
what you told me.
yeah.
These are all too
They're-
big.
they're too
I
big.
just put them in here for, going up the river.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're too big.
Hope these will do.
It's the 1st of July. The water's in perfect order, fining down after the flood and full of the grilse that ran up in the high water. At moments like this, it seems pointless to be doing anything else in the world except fishing for salmon in a beautiful river. With one fish on the grass, Peter can relax a little and enjoy the whole experience. There's something about the clean Atlantic light and the flowing water which distorts time into a long, hypnotic daydream. Every season, the Erith produces classic spate river fishing in the summer. It's not the easiest form of angling in the world, but many people think it's the most challenging and fascinating. They fish on, hoping for that magic day when the river finds down and it's full of fish and you're presenting the right fly in the right place at the right time.
On today's Country File, we're going fishing. In fact, we're going game fishing for salmon and for trout. Now, the 1990s could well go down as the decade when we all went green. But Britain's 4 million anglers could well argue that they've been conservationists since long before the word environment was on everybody's lips. In fact, game fishermen have a motto that there's more to fishing than just catching fish. Well, with me is Dan Cherrington, a keen fisherman, and our gilly for this programme. Dan, do you agree with that motto?
Oh, sure. I go fishing to relax, and I've got this theory that if you want to catch a fish, you let your brain come back to about that size, about the same size as a fish. You've got a better chance then.
I should be okay then fishing, I think.
John, you said it, not me. But there is another side. You get to some of the most beautiful places, and I fish one of the loveliest rivers in the country.
The River Test in Hampshire draws its water from deep underground in the underlying chalk and flows quietly through undisturbed countryside, the perfect environment for fly fishing. It's the home of the brown trout, and the gin-clear water supports a wide variety of wildlife, all of which thrive because of the abundant food supply. The juiciest morsel on offer is the mayfly. It completes its life cycle in the spring, after spending 2 years in the river.
Each female dips and dives onto the water surface to break the film and lay the eggs underneath. She does this a number of times, by which time she'll have laid between 4,000 and 5,000 eggs. While they're laying the eggs, they're known as spinners to the trout fishermen. And once they've laid the eggs, they die and they float down the river with their wings horizontal in their thousands. And they're known at that time, the fishermen, as spent.
Why do they dance?
Well, the males dance to attract the females. The males have eyes in the top of their heads, and the females have eyes on the side of their head. And the males fly up in the air and hold their wings and sink down and fly up again and sink down, and the females fly over the top of them. And the males spot them with the eyes on the top of their head. The nearest one clasps, they mate, and the females fly back to the water, and the whole cycle starts again.
I like fishing the Test because you don't just thrash the water. The art is to spot a feeding fish and cast your fly just over his nose.
It's not chuck and hope fishing. You know where the fish is, you can see him rising. And then, whee, right in under that bush. Come on, my sweetie.
This stretch of the Test is perfect trout fishing thanks to the estate owners, the John Lewis Partnership. They've managed to put up with the rude remarks from my friend Gordon Johnson for over 20 years.
I mean, the heyday of this river really was in the 20s, wasn't it?
I suppose it was.
When the gentlemen came here.
Before the Drapers took it over me.
Now then. All right. What sort of fly?
Well, I think a little olive. But, you may
I can't see the damn things well enough.
Okay, well then you can go for that.
I'm going to put on...
a little grey wolf.
Well, it's a sort of greeny grey wolf.
All right. Now then. Don't forget, it always goes in the angle of deflection of the
You're not poking
eye.
it towards the hole. Oh, you got it.
Look, I've got my glasses on.
I can always tell when I need to go to the optician again, is when I can't see the time fly on.
And loop it round, and over the top of the fly, and then all the strain, when you catch a fish, is down onto the shank of the hook.
Ah.
Right.
Great stuff. You got any muesli?
Yeah.
Put a bit of that on.
Just grease it.
And what chance of a fish do you reckon?
Every chance.
Catching the fish is really a battle of wits, and sometimes the fish outsmart the fishermen. The native fish is the brown trout, but the river is also stocked with rainbows, with their distinctive red sides. They too can be persuaded to take a fly, even by the most conceited angler.
There you are, my boy. That's all you got to do is have the master's touch.
I'm not ready to net yet.
Nowhere near.
You tell me when you're ready for me to net him.
I'll try and keep him upstream.
Yes, okay.
There he is, look at that. See his lovely red side, eh?
Beautiful.
Yeah. Just where the water is a bit more cloudy, you see. I'll bring him to the net.
Yeah.
Hey, don't you miss him?
You bring him to the net then. Well done, Dan.
Well done, well done, well done.
To the casual eye, the riverside is merely a beautiful place. But getting things just right for the gentlemen anglers is the result of a great deal of hard work. In summer, it's mainly the traditional job of keeping the banks trimmed. The main work is left until the autumn and starts with electrofishing the water.
We drift down the river and the fish are stunned and come to the surface and they're netted out quickly. And of course the main object of the exercise is to get rid of the pike. Even in a river like this, which has been keepered for donkey's years, pike is still a problem.
Apart from electrofishing the water, what other jobs go on in the winter?
Well, the first job is fringe removal. As you can see along these beats, we've already done that. That's cutting all the ingrowing sedge and reeds back so the river doesn't, in fact, start to grow in. And then once that's done, there's weed cutting. If we can cut the weed now and get rid of it all, when the rains come in January and February, the river has a good old scar, shifts any silt and debris out of the way, and it's all in fine fettle for next season.
All the work for Guy's team is steeped in tradition. But the most delicate job is rearing the fish. This starts with the females being stripped of their eggs. This doesn't harm the fish, by the way. After that, the male fish are milked into the same bowl. This may look a bit primitive, but these men have skills that have been handed down for generations. The result is that every spring, Guy can restock the river with fish he's reared. These trout are 2 years old, and they're released in good time so they can get acclimatized and find their own territorial position in the river. This is essential to provide the standard of sport the gentlemen have come to expect.
You're into him? What a beauty. Keep him tight. What a beauty.
Well, it's a start.
I tell you what, that's a decent fish too. I haven't got my net.
I've got mine. You get down below it.
Just take some steam out of him. Ha!
Damn thing.
You'll have you down in Stockbridge in a minute. That's the original fish of the river, isn't it?
It is. Well, it's the indigenous fish for the only reason we've had a lot of...
He gets bigger as he comes in, boy.
Rainbow is...
Eh?
yeah.
Doesn't he?
Okay, he's ready.
There you are,
Thank you
sir.
very much, Dan. Well done.
What a beauty.
Well, it really looks idyllic there, Dan, doesn't it? But it also looks pretty exclusive and pretty expensive.
Expensive? Well, it's sort of £50 to £100 a day on the test. If you can get it, that's the problem. The real problem in this country is there's so many people want to fish and so little water to fish on. That's what makes it exclusive.
So if you can't get on a river, where do you go to fish?
Well, what happens is a farmer like me will put a pond in or a lake and stock it with trout in the morning, and you come along in the afternoon and yank them out. But it's a bit contrived. I think if I wanted to take you fishing somewhere, I'd say let's go over to the west coast of Ireland. Connemara really is one of those places where man can commune with nature. Gently brooding mountains and sparkling lochs. Since the troubles in the north, fewer fishermen have been coming to Ireland to try their hand for salmon and trout. Of course, this means better sport for those who do go. I get over as often as I can, and one place I really fell for was the weir at Galway. The Regional Fisheries Board have put in a great deal of work over the past 10 years, improving the runs of salmon. These men are helping the fish that try to run up the river and get trapped in the pools below the sluice gates. It's enough to make any angler's mouth water. A 10-pound salmon hoiked into the river above. The board's work has produced spectacular results. In 1989, 2,000 fish were caught here between May and July.
The weir of Galway has had a reputation for salmon fishing going back centuries, but it's exceptional this year. Conditions are right, and I suppose we've had the best year for a long time.
Is your fishing all this good this year?
Well, if we go back, I suppose, to when regional boards were established, around 1980, fishing was very, very bad. We had very, very poor runs of fish, generally, and here was no exception. But we put a lot of work into protection, in particular pollution control. We've done a lot of development on streams, and I think we're beginning to see the results of all of that.
To catch salmon, you must be in the right place at the right time, and knowing which rivers are full of fish is vital information. To provide this, the Fisheries Board has come right up to date. All the answers are available on a computer-based information service for anglers.
The idea of the computer is that if the angler comes along, he can get up-to-date information on real hot information as to where is the right place to go on the particular day. And what we hope to do by that is to try and satisfy anglers, to be able to say to them, even if they come in at Dublin Airport, to put their card into the computer there and then, and if they were coming to the weir in Galway, they find it's not fishing properly, divert them straight away to Delphi or to someplace else.
I was determined to get a fish here, and in the end, I resorted to the use of a spinning rod with a prawn for bait. It's sacrilege to a real fisherman, but permissible for visiting Englishmen.
Jimmy, I'm into a fish! Hey?
I got my fish, ably assisted by Jimmy, the resident gilly.
Isn't that a nice fish? That's expert gillying, isn't it? Wait, hang on a minute. Will you take a net down for it?
I mean,
Ah! He's not ready yet. What a fish!
How on earth you land a fish on your own here, I just don't know. But with Jimmy's help, it was relatively easy.
I tell you what, catching a salmon like that is just something else, isn't it? Ah!
Well, I've got to ask you, Dan, how much did it weigh?
Yeah, well, what a beauty. It was 11 pounds, actually. But, John, I have to admit that the gilly actually got it on and then handed me the rod.
Cheating, eh? Cheating.
Yeah, but that's a super place to fish. The other thing about that place was it actually wasn't too dear. About 30 quid a day, and you catch salmon.
So where else can you go, then, to get fun like that and also get some good fishing?
What happened?
I just lost a couple of 100,000.
Well, here we are at the beautiful Ballynahinch Castle. It's about 20 minutes to 8. The rest of the boys are in bed. And I thought in the morning like this, I'd just get up and perhaps we'll go through the beach from 1 to 7. I'll put this camera on my shoulder and we'll head up to beach 1 now. It's not an ideal day for fishing, but apparently there's a lot of fish in the river, and we'll see what happens at 10 o'clock.
You could say, this is the rock in Connemara.
Davison on his first ever lesson fly fishing. Peter's now going to demonstrate how to hook and land a salmon using a single trout rod, 11'3" carbon rod. Bloody poachers.
Show them that fish there. Show them that fish. Look at the size of that. 3.5 pound. Slob trout. Beautiful. Got the magnifying lens on. Look at this big.
Just hold it there, Peter.
That big. 3.5 pounder. Did you catch one today?
No,
No.
I wasn't fishing today.
Oh, maybe
Because I regarded
Your reel sounds a bit hairy.
Is that mine?
Your reel sounds a bit hairy.
Lovely. Youth. Gorgeous. Silver is shelly. Youth. Big a prawn. Yeah. And the whole thing. That works.
You better bring him in a bit farther.
It's $1.
And
That's the same. Oh, beautiful.
Oh, he's got a hurt here of some sort.
Beautiful. What he did. I will know that could
Maybe
be
it's
the
hit the
plane.
rocks up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think
Crunching
so.
it, hit the
Yeah,
rock.
yeah. That's only a new tear. Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
My good needed is just on the lip.
Yeah, just on the lip.
Yeah, but look, it's wrapped
Oh, he's
yes.
wrapped around his nose.
Oh,
too.
yes.
Better check that cast just in case.
Yes.
Oh, he's tied himself up.
He
there.
has tied himself up. Yes.
My goodness.
Yeah. He has tied himself up. Yes.
You know something, that hook was not embedded.
That's it.
Peter!
Aye.
that extra weight on it.
Whoa, goodbye, boy, goodbye. Look at him go. He's about 14 or 15 pounds.
Huh?
Do you want to run down after him? I got this on video, man. He's about 15 pound weight.
Yeah, he is. He's a big fish anyway, I can tell you. Mine's got one at the fur bush too. Yep.
Yep. Of course, Michael, this will go down on video now.
Oh, it's all on video.
Are you delighted I've got that fish, mister? Of course I am, sir. Don't need about how you got him now. Start things off.
This is what happens when you forget to switch the camera off. That's my belly.
Still grass. What is it?
Oh, but where's the salmon? We should have the salmon, so we should have.
Think about that, it costs a lot.
Another big one now.
It's very expensive.
Get it next month, will we?
They rise and fall, at times swimming upside down, simply mouthing the fish and seeming to play with them in sport, as cat with mouse. And those salmon that survive the dreaded killer whales may yet have to run the gauntlet of hungry seals.